Hi there, welcome to the Happy Chicken Coop YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us today. I'm gonna be talking about raising turkeys and chickens together in the same area, on the same homestead, in the same flock. Before I get into that, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also be sure to subscribe to our website, thehappychickencoop.com. If you subscribe using the link in the description, you will receive a free ebook on the 10 best egg-laying chicken breeds. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. So poultry enthusiasts often dabble with different species of birds. One of the questions that comes up often is, can I keep chickens with other kinds of poultry? Can I have a mixed flock? The short answer is yes, you can, but should you? Generally speaking, ducks, peafowl, and turkeys can certainly be kept on the same property together, and they would coexist very well. Most types of poultry prefer to spend time with the same kind of poultry. Chickens like chickens, ducks like ducks, and turkeys like turkeys. Aside from a few health concerns and logistics, there aren't many reasons to keep chickens separate from turkeys. Here's a few things to consider before doing so, though. As far as in the brooder temperatures are going to be very similar for both turkeys and chickens. However, chickens are raring to go right out of the egg. They can be a bit more flighty and aggressive than a turkey chick, and therefore the turkeys may get trampled and pecked. This can weaken an already fragile baby turkey in this condition, and it may not thrive. Aside from the erratic behavior of the chicks, the turkeys need to be fed a different diet than the chickens. There are specific types of feed or mash for turkey chicks that will provide the babies with the proper amount of protein. While chick starter does have protein, it is not quite enough for the turkeys, especially if they are being raised for the dinner table. While having a brooder nursery full of both chicks and turkeys may sound adorable, it isn't quite fair to the turkeys. Keeping them separate in the brooder gives them both equal chances at survival. Now let's talk about in the coop. Turkeys usually prefer roosting in the outdoors, but for those who aren't in tough weather conditions and with no access to a good enclosed run, this is probably not an option. So in the coop they go. Now, if you're gonna have turkeys in the coop with your chickens, there are several things you need to keep in mind. First, turkeys are much larger. You'll need to recalculate how much roosting space you need to have. Turkeys will naturally take up more space than chickens. Second, turkeys' feet are also bigger. I typically use a small branch for the roost, but turkeys' feet are larger and will fully wrap around it. This means that when the turkeys sit down on the roost, its feet will not be completely covered by its feathers. Rather, they will be exposed in the cold weather and potentially be frostbitten. This can be addressed by putting a thicker roost branch or even a 2x2 or 2x4 instead. Some of our YouTube subscribers have very beautiful and intricate chicken coops, and this may not be as easy as just swapping a stick out. Now let's talk about diseases. The first one, Blackhead Disease. Histomycosis, also known as Blackhead Disease, is caused by the protozoan parasite Histomonas meleagritis. If there's another reason to keep chickens and turkeys separate, it's the Blackhead Disease. It's a major concern for farmers keeping both chickens and turkeys. Chickens and turkeys can spread diseases to one another, and Blackhead Disease is one of the most common diseases that is spread between the two birds. Blackhead Disease is caused by, like I said, Histomonas meleagritis, which is a protozoan that resides in a parasitic cecal worm egg. This worm is expelled by the infected bird through its droppings and then eaten by another bird directly from the feces or through other means, such as an earthworm has eaten the worm egg. In other words, it is often carried by an actual earthworm that is eaten by a chicken or a turkey. It's a vicious cycle that is very difficult to put a stop to once it has started. The protozoan can survive in the ground for approximately 3 years if the conditions are right. Chickens are less susceptible to blackhead disease than turkeys, and while they are not immune, they may show some of the symptoms and in some cases die. Egg production may drop and they may experience weight loss. Turkeys often show signs of lethargy, weight loss, and drooping wings. Turkeys do not often survive the disease. Unfortunately, chickens may simply become carriers of the protozoan, and the owner may not know the flock is infected with the disease until it is too late. According to the FDA, there is no cure for the disease, and turkeys are highly susceptible. Once a turkey flock has been infected, 70 to 100% of the birds may die. Pretty high death rate. If a farm becomes infected with blackhead disease, the only way to truly get rid of it is to remove the poultry and wait 3 years to be sure it has died off. Even after that, there is no guarantee because wild birds carry the disease as well. If an infected turkey walks onto the farm and leaves some droppings, a perfectly healthy flock may contract the disease without anyone even realizing it. Now, after we're done with the doom and gloom, let's talk about feeding as adults. Many people raise turkeys for the purpose of serving them as dinner, that is, in the fall. Since growth rate and dressed weight is almost always an important factor, they should be kept on a high protein diet. This will mostly mean that turkeys meant for the table will need to be kept separate from chickens. If laying hens consume feed with higher protein than the typical layer feed formulas, it won't hurt them. However, laying hens need much less protein and a lot more minerals to stay productive and produce sturdy eggs year-round. On the other hand, meat chickens that consume feed meant for turkeys will grow too fast. This will lead to earlier health issues than normal. So, for example, since Cornish crosses are practically engineered to grow fast on a high-protein diet, eating even more protein would be too much for them. With that said, turkeys who are not being raised for the dinner table and are meant for more of an ornamental purpose will do just fine with chicken layer feed. Can turkey eggs hatch under a broody chicken? A broody hen can definitely be used to hatch turkey eggs or even duck eggs. If you have a very committed broody hen who you know has sat for a longer period of time on her eggs, turkey eggs will approximately take 28 days to hatch, while chicken eggs take approximately 21 days. Ducks, if you were interested, also take 28 days. Your hen would need to stay an extra 6 or 7 days on the eggs, which many have done successfully. They also make great mothers, and turkeys learn from mother hens quickly. And lastly, let's talk about the behavioral concerns when it comes to chickens and turkeys together. Turkeys spend very little time concerning themselves over things that will send a chicken into a 10-minute squawking fit. They are less flighty, slower moving, and overall just a little more zen than chickens, so keeping the two in the same area doesn't cause too much drama. In fact, turkey hens often act as a mediator of sorts amongst chickens. They have been seen breaking up fights and in some cases getting an unruly rooster under control. I remember one time my good friend had a larger flock of turkeys that would patrol the grazing fields and always act as a mediator when a good pecking fight would occur. Blackhead disease is a scary condition. Like I said before, I didn't want to go doom and gloom, but it's something you need to be aware of if you're going to do this. And it's a scary condition to contract on a farm full of feathered friends. Before making the decision to keeping the poultry together, new owners should take the time to research the disease and talk to local vets about the possibility of the disease in the area. If keeping turkeys as pets, it is much easier to keep chickens and turkeys together and a lot more fun. They can easily coexist in harmony if everyone's healthy and given the appropriate portions of protein. That's going to do it for us here at the Happy Chicken Coop. Thanks for listening. If you find our content interesting, if you learned something new, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, as well as subscribe to our website. Well, with that, I hope you all have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.